Well, hey YouTube, I should say hey folks. This is Ben Yessel. It's a nice September evening in the neighborhood near where I live now. And those of you who have been watching my videos for quite some time, let's go this way, might be able to recognize that this particular neighborhood, even at night, is definitely not the one that I've been filming for quite some time. Quite some time indeed. And boy, do I have a lot on my mind. I mentioned some stuff earlier. My room. You've yet to do some music videos, I know. It is true these days that I am teaching quite a few more students than in the past. Just today, for instance, I got a email from somebody from, I'm guessing India. Wants piano lessons for his 7-year-old son. Right now, the vast majority of my students are piano students. Vast majority. I'm only still teaching one horn student. And to be honest, no composition students. They're all piano right now. Is that how I'd like things to be? Not really, but I'm really happy about all the students I'm getting. That's for sure. Man, piano, jeez. Wow. Actually, I do have one music theory student. That's new. That's nice. A little variety. But yeah, this is definitely a different neighborhood, even at night. Yeah, I'm in Everett right now. I'm living in Everett. So, let's talk about how things are going. Hedge. Well, I was overjoyed to move in. I still am. I mean, I'm overjoyed to live here, but I live out right now. Kind of like, though, how can I put this? I had a landlord in the past who, how should we say, I don't know if you met these people at church or, I don't know. So he had this Peruvian lady who would come over with her little girl and her husband, and the Peruvian lady would clean the whole house. This is the second place I was at after college. The Peruvian lady was great. She was awesome. Her husband was, yeah, a little bit odd. Yeah. When I say odd, I mean, he was kind of odd. I'm not really sure what the lady saw in him, but anyway. So yeah. But I still remember all that stuff, and my new landlord definitely has a lot of great qualities. He tends to be the sort, just like this other landlord, that he wants to see the good in people who are often not seen as being all that great. That's a good way of putting it. It just, sometimes it's a question of what kind of people you can deal with, I suppose. Some people pride themselves on being able to get along with many different kinds of people, and I think the word pride is sometimes very much a part of that feeling. So, but it's a skill to be able to get along with a lot of different kinds of people. Some people seem to also pride themselves in not being able to get along with a lot of different kinds of people. Or, I don't know. The world is so messed up, so mixed up about all these things. People really just still have their own ideas about each other. Anyway, so, again, getting back to my landlord here, he really, he's tried to help this guy that I don't know, this one of our tenants. And this particular tenant, he's got some problems. But I told my landlord, like, I'm not really talking to the man. Yeah, he doesn't know how to behave himself in a way. I don't think he understands the concept of when you're talking about people at home, right? The concept of home, being at home. There's some things you just don't do when people are living at home. The problem is, this is the craziest thing. I just came from a situation, as you guys probably are aware of, but it was increasingly not so great. I had an elderly landlord in my old place, and a person that I invited in turned out to be not a good person to room with. So I was getting away from that situation. I was leaving that situation. I mean, a situation where 4 of the 5 guys, sorry, I should say more accurately, 3 of the, I'm sorry, it's traffic stuff. 3 of the 4 guys, other than me here, this place, are great guys. 2 in particular, of course, and one is, I'm not sure what his deal is. He's an ex-military guy who's trying to become I'm not sure what exactly, some kind of financial consultant or something. Every single morning, he's watching the stock market on multiple screens, multiple TV screens, multiple financial news channels. The oddest thing I've ever seen in my entire life, in a way. And he's listening to a bunch of voices, computer voices, talking about all these different stock prices, and he's just looking at them for a while. That's what he does all day, at least right now. When he gets a job, I'm assuming he'll move out, but he might not. So if he sticks around, I expect him to mind his own business. If I have any more problems with him, and I talk to the landlord about this, I'll go to the landlord. You know, I don't get it, man. Are there really this many jacked up people in the world? Really? The man is, I'm not sure what's wrong with the guy. It's like, do I have a big target on my back? Just saying, hey, I want to experience more drama in my life, even while being single. Please, just feel free to come up to me and give me a hard time. I mean, do I have a target on my back saying that? No, I don't. Why do I feel why do I feel that way? Well, because obviously I was trying to move away from a situation that was kind of not very pleasant at all. And so I'm talking to my landlord about this stuff, and for some crazy reason, he's You know, I don't even know why the man invited him in the first place. Some people just take advantage of you, of your kindness. I've realized that. Some people just do. They'll answer for that. They'll answer for that if they never make amends. But I very well could be wrong, but I doubt it. It depends on the person, man. Like, no, I don't have anything to do with this guy. Already that's living at the place I just moved into. Really. If he says anything to me whatsoever, if he says something actually somewhat kind or semi-kind, great. If I hear anything else that's was as negative as I just heard recently, it's go time. But I don't expect at this situation. I don't expect it to be any better in the future. But my landlord assured me that this wasn't about me. This is just he's ex-military. He just speaks what's on his mind and expects people to say okay or no, I don't agree, or whatever. Like this guy wants to get a job being a financial consultant or something. How in the devil is he going to get a job thinking the way he does? I mean, if I've learned anything in my 43 years of life so far, if I've learned anything, you do not talk to people like that. You don't. If you're thinking filthy rich and you're a boss of a company, whoever works for you, they're going to hate their lives. They're going to hate their jobs at some point. Because the government sucks royally at stamping out corruption. And unholiness masters, to use a biblical term. Yeah, that still goes on. AKA, also known as, right? In other words, corrupt bosses, tyrannical bosses. That's what that means. Unholiness masters. Taking advantage of your employees. Let's go down this way. So, but I'm only talking about one little negative thing here. I don't know how it'll go. The man is probably smoking peyote. He thinks that I'm just gonna like, okay. I don't know who he thinks he's talking to. How can he expect to talk to somebody the way he just talked to me? Expect things are gonna be just fine. They're not gonna be just fine. So I want people to leave me the freak alone, especially when I'm at home, for crying out loud. I don't know why this is still a problem, folks. I really don't know. I'm like, do I have to buy a house and be in debt for the rest of my life just to get away from this stupid riffraff? I mean, for crying out loud, the landlord's a member of my church. Wow. Like, if you were worried about people renting or being able to rent from you, I can guarantee you, there are people looking for a room and that can afford it, that are either LDS or Christian or would want to live where we live. Kick that guy out. He talks smack. I don't know why. I just don't know why. You'll have to knock some sense into him. He can go one or two different directions. This guy can either shape up and zip his trap about stupid little crap that he's talking about, or he can make things worse make the situation worse. I guess the ball's in his court. Anyway. I've been flipping busy. This is my daily routine recently. I get up probably about 8 in the morning, 8 or 9. Shower, breakfast. There's often some kind of, well, of course, there's cooking involved a lot of times with breakfast, eggs and stuff. But because my landlord is probably the most he's not only the cleanest landlord I've ever had, but he's also the most it's almost the point of lunacy how clean he is. I've gotten emails, I've gotten texts from him almost every single day about something that has to be cleaned. So I'm assuming that he'll slow that down. He said that he'd give me a contract as well. That's never happened. And I've had roommates here that have never signed a contract, which essentially means that we're not liable for anything. It's the same kind of deal as my last landlord. It's not a big thing. I don't really feel strongly one way or another if I never sign a contract. He just has to understand that I'm not liable for anything that you can legally put in a contract to begin with. So, I don't know. I just don't know. Well, let's see here. But there's a lot of things that are going better, I suppose. Actually, a lot of things. But yeah, it's doing my daily schedule here. So I'm starting to teach many days, like at noon. At noon, I need to be out the door driving somewhere, or starting to teach at noon. On Saturdays, I'm up at the crack of dawn. I'm out the door really quick. And so I'm teaching most of the day. Well, a lot of the day on Monday. Some gaps right now. Somewhat. There's one gap at least Monday, and then Tuesday, yeah, pretty much from the afternoon on. I'm afternoon on to the evening. And Wednesday, I have a new student starting up here at 12 noon in Seattle. I'm teaching in Seattle all the way up until 3, and then I'm heading back up to Woodinville, and then over to Kirkland. And that's Wednesday and Thursday. Let's see, I think that's more of a little bit easier day, just in North Bothell and Woodinville and stuff. More in the late afternoon to early evening. Friday, it's pretty much Maltby, Woodinville. Oh, and another student in Seattle over here too. And then Saturday's all Bothell. And so that's one of the best things going on is I'm earning more money. I am busier. It's just less time in the day to do stuff, and so the things I would normally want to do, I have less time to do them. So, it's like kind of back to working a full-time job, which is great. But, I have to make best use of time. If I were to add on more students, it's a, it's a good thing that I enjoy what I do. If I didn't like what I did, holy crud. I want my home life to be as fulfilling as my career still. It might take a while before that really happens, but at least it's better than it used to be. Assuming that this idiot lives next to me can mind his P's and Q's, man. I just think, how can you get a job where you're interacting with other people on a daily basis and have these basic issues that, oh man, I don't know. Believe me, folks, I understand a little bit of what might be going on here with this guy, but it's kind of like, as I've experienced with another recent roommate, someone's psychological problems. Well, largely, or whatever else problems, they're something that is hard, I'm sure, to deal with. But, and you guys have heard this before, someone else's problems, they're someone else's problems, they're not mine. The second that someone starts to make their issue, their problem about something, my problem, then we have a problem. A lot of problems there. It sounds very selfish, it sounds very self-centered to say it that way. But on some level, if you don't say that, right, if I try to help everybody who has problems, and I want to help people, but if we don't say that, if we don't make some kind of decision about this sort of thing, I can spend way too much time and energy, trying to help everybody else when you have the time for yourself. There has to be balance in life. There's only so many things that I feel like I'm cut out to help someone with. There's definitely things that I wouldn't feel comfortable helping somebody with still. But I it's always a spectrum, I suppose. I'm probably more cut out than some, but less cut out than others. And I prefer not to deal with certain things if I can avoid it. Yeah, a lot of structure in this new place, which is exactly what I need. So long as everybody is civil and kind, and it needs to feel like home. I mean, if you don't feel at home in the place that you live, that's a problem. That's the problem. It's a major problem. So sometimes you wonder if in any situation we're in the right or the wrong. You only wonder that because some part of our conscience is saying we're doing something wrong, or somebody told us that we might be doing something wrong, or that somebody else on the other side is saying something that may be right. But we don't want to accept that. I really detest getting caught up in that crap, because that's what it is. It's crap. If it was something worth spending energy and time on, I would just want a resolution, that kind of stuff, ASAP. Incidentally, I've had family members that have had ongoing issues of sorts, bickerings, that sort of thing in the past. Not my own family, well, not my parents, not my siblings, not nothing like that. It's, yeah. It's nothing big either. It's just, Here's a question for you guys. Why is it that the more eccentric of us, those who are prone to have a little bit more out of the ordinary trains of thought and patterns of thought and patterns of conduct that might be off-putting to some, why are those people, especially if they're more sensitive or eccentric or whatever, why are they ostracized from society? Why are they misunderstood? Why do they have so many problems? And I myself include myself in that group to some extent. Why, why are they often maligned, or that? Why is it often their fault supposedly for things? I really just don't have a lot of patience for people that, I don't know. There are some people, including members of my church, that I think actively try to avoid problems with others by distancing themselves from anybody who could be a problem, instead of having relationships with those kinds of people. You might ask the question, what do I think of those kinds of people? And they might be very admirable sorts in many respects, but to that I have to say, as you can probably guess, I don't have a lot of respect for those kinds of people. I really don't at all. Whoever just puts people off for whatever reason. I mean, there is genuine dislike. Sometimes people just genuinely dislike the people, but that's different. I'm talking about people that I have no time for this person. They're just weird, or funny feeling. Something stupid like that. Nope, I don't bother getting to know those people. I don't want to know them. At some point in time, they will need the forgiveness of people, just like we all do. Will they get it? We're all in need of forgiveness. It's just the tude. I've managed to at least go to my church and avoid getting involved with the comparisons and certain dimensions of what I'm talking about, I guess. I managed to avoid all that pretty well, and I intend to avoid that drama in the future. But what I'm also saying, I'm getting at, is the way I avoid that whole thing is by not acting like that. It's by not you just try to make connections wherever you can, and you don't view supposedly weird people as being off-putting simply because they're whatever. But ultimately depends on the person. I'm gonna wrap this video up, but as you can see, This is a different neighborhood. This is not my old neighborhood. Anyway, so I'm definitely in a new place. Catch you guys later. Take care. Bye.